From the TV to all the merchandise in stores, frightening images of Halloween are almost everywhere these days. Well, here to help our children with maybe they have some Halloween fears is psychologist and mom herself, Amy Trout. Good morning.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
So this is something that we kind of got talking about the last time you were here, and this is so interesting to me this time of year when really you cannot look away. I mean, Halloween images are everywhere between the commercials for scary movies that sometimes pop up all year round.
Oh, yeah.
So when it comes to our kids, what are some things that we need to remember, you know, and really consider when at such a young, delicate age, these images can have lasting effects, I think, for some of them, or I don't know, I'm assuming they can.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the things that I would love to really kind of send a message out there is it's okay to protect our kids. You know, it's kind of our job to protect our kids. And so their innocence from certain, you know, we can't protect them forever. I know, you know, life is gonna show them reality soon enough. But if there's any way that we can cushion that, I find it highly nurturing when parents work very hard to protect their kids from harsh images, harsh news stories, harsh pretend things that could possibly lead them into fear. Fear is something we definitely don't want to breed in our children. And so to me, it's really not worth the risk of exposing them to something that may cause a fear or an unhealthy fear to rise up in them simply because we're trying to help them learn to be strong.
Well, and you have a couple of points that we're going to get to this morning, four specifically. So let's run through these. And you say, number one, don't make light of a child's fear.
Yeah. If a child thinks something is creepy or yucky or scary, even the word scary can come out of very little kids, and you go, where did that come from? Why is that scary to them? If it is, it's okay. And just asking them, what makes that scary? What looks scary about that? My son had never, I don't know that he had ever been exposed to a scary skeleton before, but he saw a skeleton somewhere when he was about 2, and he said it was very scary. And I'm like, wow, what's scary about that? And he's like, I don't know what it is, you know. And so we talked about what made it scary, and I just let it be scary. I explained that it was bones, but I let it be okay that some things are kind of a little scary.
Well, it's funny how they kind of intuitively know that that is something that maybe, hey, you know, isn't quite right.
Yeah.
So they pick them up on that stuff early.
Yeah.
Number 2, explore child's thoughts. So this is tough because you don't want to, you know, dwell on things too much, but yet you want to, you know, kind of know what's going on in their head.
When they bring it up.
Okay.
I always go with like where the kid leads, but don't let it like freak you out. You know, like if they show you something and they think something looks scary. My kids, when 2 of my girls, when they were younger, they would see under bathroom sinks in public restrooms or whatever, and they saw faces. You know, they were like the 2 handles and the nozzle. I mean, if you look at it, you can kind of make it out. And they're like, ooh, those are scary. And I never knew that was a scary thing for them. And instead of saying, oh, that's so silly, I was like, what is it? And they're like, see the eyes, and they explained it to me, and I'm like, oh, how interesting. So what does it look like? Have you seen anything else that looks like that? You know, trying to understand what it is that they're connecting that to, why that's particularly scary versus some other, you know, scene in their mind. And then, you know, you can explain, one of the points is explaining reality. You can explain to them that those are just pipes and those are, you know, hot and cold nozzles down there. I don't even know what they're called, but
and then does that go into the next one, explain reality?
Yeah, but let it be okay that they're afraid of that looks scary to them, that something in that scene looks scary.
And then the last one, protect by limiting exposure. And that kind of goes to what you were talking about in the beginning. Don't be afraid to keep them innocent.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of parents, and I can't say that I've never felt this way, but you know, we want to prepare our kids, buffer them up for the real world, you know, and so there are a lot of things, you know, you're kind of like, well, you know, you got to learn about that, and that's really not scary, but that's really not the approach I don't think we really want to take with our kids. When we're very thoughtful and we take a moment to reflect, like, it's okay to explain to kids that something is what it doesn't appear to be or whatever, but if it doesn't appease them or doesn't make them feel more comfortable, why in the world would we prematurely try to like push them over a developmental hump? Kids need to be imaginative. Imagination is super important for cognitive development. They have to be able, you know, any of us, if we're trying to imagine what something was like in World War II, we use our imaginations to do that. We can't like put ourselves there, right? So imagination is really, really important for kids. So trying to help them quickly distinguish between real and pretend might be too big of a leap for kids. We have to be very sensitive to where they are developmentally.
Well, as we're out of time, what's the take home? What do you want to remind parents as, you know, again, not just for Halloween, but I think, you know, all year long with trying to maybe deal with scary movies or scary stories?
I don't think, you know, people, I think, get criticized sometimes for overprotecting their kids. And I think shielding kids from things that might become big problems with anxiety or phobias in the future.
Which is real for kids.
Right. I think it's okay to be protective. I think, you know, with something like, you know, if a child has a fear of a dog, it's not like they're going to go their whole life and not see a dog. You want to do very limited, you know, super slow exposures and help re-encourage those connections. But with Halloween and things that really don't need to be a daily part of life, it's okay to be protective.
Amy, thank you so much again. We love having you here. We look forward to having you back.
Thank you.